أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد عليه السلام والصلاة. The first journey to Syria and his encounter with the monk Bahira. When Rasulullah ﷺ turned 12, his uncle Abu Talib decided to travel to Syria with a trade caravan of the Quraysh. Owing to the difficult and long journey, Abu Talib did not want to take him along, but at the actual moment of departure, noticing signs of heartbreaking gloom and sorrow on his face, he finally relented and took him along. En route to Syria, they halted at a city called Busra, where a Christian monk lived by the name of Jarjis, popularly known as Bahira, the monk. He was well acquainted with the signs of the final prophet as mentioned in the divine books. The moment this trade caravan halted before Bahira's monastery and his gaze fell on Rasulullah ﷺ, he at once recognized him as the prophet referred to in the previous books. Bahira then grasped Rasulullah ﷺ hand in his own. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu narrates that once Abu Talib traveled with some high-ranking elders of Quraysh to Syria, a Christian priest was living in the vicinity of the area they had halted over for the night. They passed this priest on numerous occasions in the past, but he never cast a glance in that direction whenever they passed through. This time, though, when the trade caravan broke their journey, the monk unexpectedly emerged from his quarters, came to the caravan, and started to scrutinize each one of the travelers until he came to Rasulullah ﷺ. The moment he laid eyes on Rasulullah ﷺ, he grasped him by the hand and exclaimed, هذا سيد العالمين هذا رسول رب العالمين يبعثه الله رحمة للعالمين. It translates as, this is the leader of the worlds, this is the messenger of the worlds. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will commission him as the embodiment of mercy for the people of the world. The elders of the Quraysh, quite dazed at this, asked, how do you know this? What prompts you to make such a claim? The monk replied, when you emerge from the valley of the mountain, every single boulder and tree stooped down in prostration, and trees and boulders don't bow down to anybody but the Prophet. Furthermore, I recognize him from his seal of prophethood that is similar to an apple that appears just below his shoulder blade. Saying this, the monk departed. Because of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he prepared a meal for the whole caravan of travelers. When all of them turned up to eat, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was conspicuously absent. When he inquired, the monk established that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was out herding the camels. He sent for him. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam appeared, a cloud was sheltering him from the fierce rays of the sun. As he approached his people, he noticed that they had already taken whatever available shade there was under a tree. Since there was no shade available, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat down to one side. The moment he sat down, the tree stooped in his direction to offer him some shade. The monk remarked, look at this tree, how it is bending towards him. The monk then got to his feet, committing the travelers by force of oath not to take the young boy with them to Rome. If they caught sight of him, the monk explained, they would identify him from his attributes and features, and they would surely put him to death. Whilst pleading with them, the monk suddenly noticed a group of 7 Romans coming his way diligently searching for something. The priest asked them what they're searching for. They replied, "We are hunting for that messenger whose glad tidings have been cited in the Torah and Injil, and whom we have learnt will be traveling sometimes this month. We have dispatched men in all directions and launched an extensive search for him." The priest responded, "Okay, tell me, if the Almighty has already decreed something, is anyone able to prevent it happening?" They replied in the negative. The 7 Romans thereafter pledged before Bahira that they would refrain from hounding him. Furthermore, they eventually resolved to settle down with Bahira because the very reason they set out for unexpectedly underwent a rapid transformation. They reckoned it to be unbecoming to return home, hence the decision to settle down with Bahira. Swearing an oath to the travellers, the monk then inquired who his guardian was. They pointed towards Abu Talib. The monk pleaded with Abu Talib to send him back to Mecca. Abu Talib sent him back to Mecca with Abu Bakr and Bilal radiallahu anhuma. The monk also provided some bread and olive oil as provisions for the return journey. According to the narration of Bayhaqi, Bahira rose to inspect Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam blessed back when he noticed the seal of prophethood between his shoulder blades. He discovered it to be exactly like how he had expected it to be.